next segment, I guess, in our agenda today is a presentation on why entrepreneurship by Dr. Wenura Dissanayake. Before I hand it over to him, I think it's good to give a bit of say a bit about his background. Dr. Don Wenura Dissanayake is an inspiring professional with over 2 decades of expertise in the multidisciplinary fields as an entrepreneur, educator, research scientist, electronics engineer, and a research academic. Wenura is the founding owner and managing director of 3 educational institutes, namely Tutors SA, the leading tutoring institute in Adelaide, STEM Centre Australia, inspiring students to undertake STEM fields, and MedPrep, preparing students to become future doctors. Wenura's goal is to develop leaders by becoming a leader in complementary education and training related to students' academic success. He strives to expand the integration of new technology to make education more accessible and enjoyable. And with that, I'll hand it over to you, Wenura, to start the seminar. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Can you hear me fine?
Yes, I can hear you fine. So I'll stop sharing and you can start sharing your screen.
Sure. Yeah, you might have to give me permission as well to share. Oh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
All right. What I might do? Just give me a second. Yeah, can you see my screen fine?
Yes, we can see it.
Sure. Right. All right. Thank you very much, sir, for the introduction, and also thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to talk about take part in this inauguration. It's an honor to contribute back to Sri Lanka through this kind of initiative. So today, my talk is going to be on why entrepreneurship. In that, I would like to add that so how we can shape your future, unleashing the potential through the entrepreneurship. So if I would like to welcome everyone to this presentation. I think there are 60+ people. It's great to see that. First up, a bit of an agenda to give you an idea what's coming. So though entrepreneurship is a broad field, a broad area, I think our main focus is engineering entrepreneurship. So I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about that. And then a bit of an introduction about myself, just to make it relevant for all the students joining from Sri Lanka. And then I'll be going into different aspects about the world of careers, different types of careers we have, and why entrepreneurship is important. And then different aspects in entrepreneurship. And then also emphasizing a bit more on engineering and entrepreneurship relevant to, related to this particular project as well. And then economic and social contributions that we can do as entrepreneurs. And also, more importantly, I would say what traits that we need to develop or we need to enhance to be successful entrepreneurs. And at the end, of course, opening up for any question and answer sessions. In between, if there are any questions, if anything is not clear, please feel free to let me know. Yeah. So first up, I thought to expose to a video about trying to set the stage to talk about engineers and entrepreneurs. So I'm going to play a bit of a video, part of this video, and to make it more relevant. But this is after the ad. I think we will see. Can you hear the video or see the video?
We can't hear the audio, Wenura. When you share, did you share with computer audio on the bottom left-hand corner? Might get you to do that. Maybe if you can stop sharing and start sharing again, but when you do, there's an option on the bottom left-hand corner which says share computer audio.
Right. It's in the shared screen, right?
Yeah, in the share screen, when the pop-up comes up, there's an option on the bottom left-hand corner. There's a tick box.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. Right. So I've got the subscription.
There's one similarity between Amazon and Blue Origin's CEO Jeff Bezos, Apple's Tim Cook, Alphabet's Sundar Pichai, AMD's Lisa Su, General Motors' Mary Barra, and NVIDIA's Jensen Huang.
These days, the heads of some of the most successful companies in the world have one thing in common. They're engineers.
For those who aspire to be CEO of a company one day, getting an MBA, a Master of Business Administration degree, used to be the way to go. But that's not so true anymore. Harvard Business Review used to publish an annual list of the top 100 best performing CEOs. In 2018, they found that for a second year in a row, there were more CEOs with an engineering degree than an MBA, 34 compared to 32. Some had both. Getting an MBA can come with a hefty price tag. Top graduate schools such as the University of Pennsylvania's Wharton or Harvard Business School will set you back over $200,000. Now, some CEOs are telling you to save your money. Elon Musk went so far as to say, "I think there might be too many MBAs running companies," in an interview with the Wall Street Journal. He thinks those with business degrees spend too much time in board meetings, poring over PowerPoints and finances, when their focus should be on the product. The thinking being that if the product is good, the profits will follow. In the case of Musk, that means building great electric cars at Tesla or great reusable rockets at SpaceX. That's where being an engineer is helpful. Engineers can design, build, create, and improve their product because of their background in math, science, and technology. And they can help solve challenging technical problems that might otherwise scuttle their dreams. Technically, Musk has a degree in physics and economics.
Right. I'm going to pause there. I think the important aspect I want to highlight is that how professionals with engineering background can actually be better leaders, whether it's at the chief executive office level or the owners of the businesses, how they can contribute at a higher effective level through the entrepreneurship. So I will be going into a bit more details as I go through my presentation. Just wanted to bring this up first. First, adding to what Tidas was saying, I think I wanted to give a bit more introduction about myself again, mainly to relate this to all the students joining from Sri Lanka. So my background was, I think if I go into my next slide, most likely, starting from my school ages, I first went to a school called Christ King College in Panipitia, and then through the scholarship examination, I went to Ananda College in Colombo. After my A-levels, based on the results, I got a scholarship to University of Adelaide, which I pursued computer systems engineering. And I graduated with first class honors, and I started working in the industry. So my first job was as an engineering electronic design engineer in a company called Naptech. Then after that, I decided to pursue my PhD in electronic engineering at University of Adelaide. So straight after finishing my PhD, I continued my postdoctoral research at University of Adelaide. At the same time, I worked at University of South Australia as a visiting lecturer. And so towards the end of that, I joined the Defence Science and Technology Group, which is one of the leading government research organizations, of course, associated with defense. So I worked there as a research scientist, as well as a task lead in electronic warfare field. So then around the same time, I started my part-time gestures to tutor students, which I've been doing for a long time. And then while I was working full-time as a research scientist, I was growing my business aspects or the tutoring side of things as an institute. And then it came to a level that it's grown to a significant level, and I had to decide whether to pursue a professional career or focus more in the education side. So I decided to resign by choice from defense, and then started focusing on the education institutes. And then after that, I think I experienced a rapid growth in that I started two other initiatives, the STEM Center Australia, where we're focusing on providing STEM-related courses to boost the interest of school students to make them aligned or make them ready for the future careers, STEM careers in that. And also MedPrep is an entity that we formed to support students who aspiring to be medical doctors in Australia. So that's a bit of a background, just to set the stage, I would say. So coming from of course, doing all the high school studies, school studies in Sri Lanka, and then going through the tertiary level education in Australia, and then working in the industry, and then running my own business at the moment, or the institutes. Yeah, so now from the topic point of view, why entrepreneurship? So I would like to go through a bit more introduction into that one, and then discuss certain aspects related to that. So again, to give a bit outline, I think in here, so some aspects that I'll be relating later is that the purpose. So initiating multiple institutes in complementary kind of education in all aspects, I think one thing have helped me to achieve some level of success is to capture the purpose upfront. It's a purpose that drive you to achieve success, and even in challenging times, that helps us to keep going and keep showing up, and then achieve that success. Yeah, so from this discussion point of view, this presentation point of view, I think there's one thing in common. We're looking at why entrepreneurship aspect, right? So there are different avenues that we can pursue in our careers, but why are we looking at entrepreneurship is the main point I think we're going to look at. So in that, if we have a quick look at what other options we have, especially this is talking about after school age or after further education, what is our career going to look like? So mainly, as you know, there are three. Well, there can be more, but broadly speaking, we can categorize into three aspects: employment, in that working for an employer as an employee for an organization, and then other aspect we can look at is the investment side, where the core method of earning your income is through investments or investment returns, and then third category, which we can identify as the entrepreneurship. So what are the differences between these, and how that's going to impact, how that's going to relate from person to person? Now, yeah, so the aspects or the variation and differences between these can depend on a few factors. So, for example, innovation and approach is one aspect. So, if you're looking at as an entrepreneur, who's an entrepreneur? Entrepreneur is creating a new product using innovation, or enhancing an existing product using innovation, and incorporating a new approach. Whereas if you're an employee, you will be following the guidance or the direction given by the employer. Nothing wrong with that, but the freedom for you to make new inventions is limited, right? At the same time, as a result, I think that's where the value addition comes into play, especially from an entrepreneurship or such an organization point of view, adding value to enhance a certain product rather than just for example, selling raw material or selling a standard product. Risk tolerance, if you think about an employee versus an entrepreneur, definitely there's a higher element of risk associated with an entrepreneur compared to an employee. Once again, you're making your own decisions, and those decisions will drive your success, or that could create challenges as you go. So, of course, your risk profile will help or will dictate, what level of risk you're going to take and how that's going to impact on your success through the entrepreneurship. And then the motivation and the goal. So this can be quite broad, in that as an employee, the motivation could be, a general situation is that, okay, I want to have a solid job. I want to get solid income to take care of my family, or have a decent life and enjoy my life. And so you're working within those parameters, and of course provide good education for children when you grow up and all that, and then have those certainty, so to speak, and then have a good retirement, right? Whereas if you're working as or if you're an entrepreneur, then the motivation it does go a bit beyond. In that most cases, similar to what I'm going to highlight later, it relates to the purpose that you're trying to bring into your entrepreneurship. in that what is the impact that you're going to make to the society or to your family or to a larger, broader community for that matter. So accordingly, the drive you're going to bring in is going to be different. And then again, I think I'm repeating here, but the purpose is quite different when you compare an entrepreneur with an employee. So as I said, so the summary point of view, there's this innovation aspect, and then the taking risk is a key aspect in from an entrepreneur point of view, and then also the motivation and the goals in that collectively adding value to an existing or new product or service, so that you're generating growth through that. Moving on to the topic of entrepreneurs' vital role. So we understand what's the role of an employee working for an organization, or an investor if you're investing your wealth into to generate wealth and in return income. And then entrepreneurs' point of view, what is the role that they're going to play in the society? So here I'm going to talk about three aspects. One key aspect is economic growth. So whether it's technology related or agriculture related, or whichever the field it is, I think the contribution that entrepreneur can make going to create a significant impact on the economic growth, whether it's locally or to the national level or internationally. Of course, an employee just make that contribution as well by contributing to the particular organization, and as a result, contributing to the community or the economic status of the country and in the world. But an entrepreneur point of view, there's the job generation, job creation, and also through the service or the product provision, it enhances the economic activities. Second point is the innovation aspect. So that's where new products or services comes into play, right? And as you know, especially in challenging times, there's more opportunity for innovation, or more opportunity for innovation, because out of necessity we end up trying to do things differently, and as a result come up with new ways of doing things, and for the betterment of the economy in that part. I mean, for example, the best example that I can relate as well, we all have experienced COVID in 2020 when COVID first lockdown hit in Australia, in Adelaide. From my side of things, we were in a very challenging situation, and because online tuition, for example, online education wasn't that popular at the time, so there was a huge impact that was going to happen for my education institute's point of view. But coming from an engineering background, during the April 2020, I was spending about 2 weeks to get everything ready to run everything via Zoom, and I was able to offer all our core classes within for that term 2 in 2020. Of course, there was an impact for the number of enrollments, because some parents were reluctant or wasn't ready to do online tuition, or some parents were not, they wanted to give a break because they weren't sure what's happening with this changing environment. But that perseverance, I would say, and then out of necessity trying to find new solutions, helped us to grow as a business. And then by July that year, we were able to actually do better financially, as well as student enrollments point of view, also contribution to the society point of view. We were able to do better compared to what we were doing prior to COVID start. So that's a simple example. I know in a lot of situations, businesses or organizations got affected due to COVID, but at the same time, if you, in my belief is that if you have the right mindset, if you have the right vision, you can push with a lot of persistence to come out of those challenging times. And for that, I think one key aspect is to implement innovative solutions. So third aspect, I think the contribution point of view, societal development. So this is where I think if you look at some of the projects that Kalana was mentioning earlier, can relate as well. So again, the product or the service point of view, in some situations it can be technology oriented, but some situations it doesn't have to be, right? So depending on the level of contribution that we as people would like to do to the society, we can look at, okay, maybe the education, or maybe health, or maybe the democracy, or the freedom. So depending on, of course, there are a lot more avenues, a lot more aspects here, but I've just grouped 3 of them. Depending on your priorities, let's say, your vision about how to contribute to the society, I think you can make an impact being an entrepreneur into these areas. Yeah, then I'm moving on to talk about a little bit about the entrepreneurial spectrum. So what different types of entrepreneurships we have. So we can have small businesses, we can have startups, tech startups, for example, or large businesses where, you know, it can be multinational or operating in multiple regions in a large country. And then the fourth aspect I'm capturing is social entrepreneurship. So I think social entrepreneurship is growing these days, where personnel or the entrepreneurs trying to make an impact to the society to solve an existing problem or solve a problem with a better solution. And large businesses, for example, as we know, whether it's Google or Facebook or Amazon type of level, were leading entities. So they all have started small, but with rapid growth, with a higher purpose and mission, they've been able to achieve those levels. I think from this initiative point of view, most of the time, I think the focus has to be, or focus is going to be in the startup level, I would say, right? Now, I would like to change the thinking a little bit. So here we're talking about why entrepreneurship is important, or why engineering entrepreneurship is important. But sometimes we might think, okay, I'm not ready to be an entrepreneur. I'm not ready to take that path, or I got a lot of barriers. I think it's super important to understand that the mindset is the key, so that understand what is important to be an entrepreneur and to be successful as an entrepreneur, and get the right mindset. So in that, there can be different aspects. One thing I'm promoting always to my students as well as my colleagues is that maintain that growth mindset, a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset. Fixed mindset is where we don't believe, we think that, okay, I'm bad in maths, I can't be an engineer, or I'm bad in art, so I can't do this, or limiting yourself, having that limiting belief. Conversely, the growth mindset, we believe that through learning and experience, through practicing, we can improve our abilities, improve our skill sets, and we can keep growing. So that's relevant for an individual as well as to an organization or to a country. And I think it works across all these aspects, or all the spectrum. And also have that same belief on other people as well. As an entrepreneur, for example, if you're hiring people to work for you, then you need to believe that, you not to have that fixed mindset. And let's say from this initiative point of view, when students working on your project, it's inadvertently, I mean, it's unavoidable that you will come up with challenges, right? You may not have the know-how initially, or you may not have time because of other commitments, let's say, schoolwork, the classes, and things like that. But have that mindset that, okay, we can overcome these challenges, do more research, or get more support, or try and fail. Failing is okay, as long as you learn from failing. So have that mindset. Okay, it's not about you, as in not about you not having the knowledge right now. It's about you reaching out and getting that support and getting that knowledge, and try to solve the problem. Because as entrepreneurs, I think it's always about solving a problem, whether it's your problem or also a problem in society, to make it better. Now, when we, some of you may have heard that we talk about 5 W's and H, right? So what, who, how, why, when, and where and when, right? So when we try to, let's say, understand a problem, or understand a gap in the market, or if you want to start a business, these are certain aspects that we need to concentrate. In that, as an entrepreneur, as a resourceful entrepreneur, I think we need to go further into this, in that in each case, whether it's how you're going to do it. For example, if you're going to decide what you're going to do, like what is the product that you want to develop or the service you're going to develop, understand, go into details, and then how you're going to do it, and then why you're going to do it, what is the purpose behind it, and also who you're going to use, right? Yourself, or you're going to hire people, or you're going to get other support like contracting or things like that, right? So those are some aspects or important aspects you need to be mindful of. But right in the middle, in that golden circle, right? So I have few aspects captured, which I'm going to touch base later as well. The characteristics or the traits of a successful entrepreneur, right? So we need to have a balance. At the same time, we need to have these key aspects. So we, as entrepreneurs, we need to be resourceful, so that we know who to reach out to or what systems to refer to when we need to get something done. And then we need to have the intuitiveness, so that when there's a problem, you get to think about solutions based on your intuition. And inspiration is the key. So if you are a leader, as an entrepreneur, you have to be a leader. We have to be a leader. So we have to inspire the team working for you, so that they are with you to achieve the goal that you want to achieve. Interacting. So again, work with your team, work with your clients, or work with the support that you're going to get, so that you can reach your goals. Proactiveness is super important, instead of being reactive. Even though right at the top we got reactive, because some situations we have to be reactive, but when you're doing planned work, I think it's important to be proactive, so that you can minimize the reactiveness. And responsiveness is, again, I think software engineering from point of view, for example, we have this rapid prototyping. That's an example I think I can relate here. So how we can do, how we can develop products in a faster phase, right? So quick responses, quick solutions, when you have a problem, and have that mindset, and establish that mindset in your team as well. Now, even though I'm talking about this how, what, who, and why in this diagram, right? I think there's one of those quite important, super important. And it's important when it comes to an entrepreneur, or to be following the entrepreneurship point of view. It's super important to have that aspect addressed first before going to address the other aspects. What is that? We need to start with the why. So that's, again, relating whatever the initiative you're going to start, or whatever the product you're going to develop. I think it's important for you to relate to your why. Why, as in, okay, why you want to develop this? Is that you want to contribute to the society, or is that you want to enhance the education of the country, or you want to make things easier for the let's say the clientele you're thinking about, or is it you want to be wealthy, you want to earn a lot of money, you want to have a happy life, or you want to contribute, give back to your parents or your family, whatever that reason. I think it's super important to understand your purpose, understand the why, which then relate to your purpose. After that, because I think time to time, as I said before, it's unavoidable that you're going to get challenges, especially during the challenging times. What I have experienced as well, whenever I relate my why, my purpose, when I relate to the purpose, it's always easy to deal with it. I'm not saying when I say easy to deal with, it doesn't mean that you're going to get the solution quickly, but you're aligned with your purpose, so that even under challenges, it's you make progress and you keep at it. Changing the discussion to the business planning aspect. So I think Kalana did mention that this is something all the students will be going through at some stage. So especially when you're from a startup point of view, if you have a product in mind, and if you have done the initial research, I think it's super important to come up with a business plan. So because planning is the key, so that you're going to identify the resources you need, and then the financial side of things, or the money you need to invest, and then timing and marketing side, like down the track, how you're going to reach to the market to promote your product, and what systems you need. Initially, it could be solopreneur, right? It could be just you working in your business, in your product, in your organization. But with the time goes, I think it's, definitely you will have, if you're growing, you will have to get support from the other resources, HR point of view. So capturing that upfront, of course, in a staggered way, I think it's going to be quite important. So that's something I would like to highlight. And then, yeah, traits of a successful entrepreneur or successful entrepreneurs. I think, as I mentioned, this came across in one of the previous slides. But if I go into some of the aspects here, as I mentioned before, the purpose is very important, and always have that purpose in mind. And then, so of course, from person to person, the purpose will be different or can be different. But stay at it, right? Based on the purpose, you can develop your vision. What do I mean by the purpose? It is basically, it can be considered as, okay, the longer term. Sometimes you call this as the BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goal, right? So what you want to achieve in 25 years, 30 years, where you don't know what parameters will change by then, right? But this is the kind of the target that you have. And then based on your purpose, you can define your vision, what you're going to achieve in the next 5 years. What do you like to see? For example, one of my purposes, my purpose is to inspire learning, and in that contribute to 100,000 students per year in 20 years time. I mean, this was done like 2 years ago. So what does that look? Does that mean that I'm going to support only students in Australia? Not really. So reaching out, giving back to Sri Lanka, or reaching out to other countries where, or the regions where they need more support. So that's the purpose. But then the vision, in 5 years time, what I'm going to do, or what I see our organizations doing. So again, capturing the achievements we're going to do in 5 years time, for example. And then with that, I haven't listed here, but then we can define the mission, as in how you're going to get there, what you're going to do. Okay, I'm going to provide private education through teachers and tutors. I'm going to do online tuition. I'm going to provide seminars and things like that. Or I'm going to develop technology, for example, STEM Center Australia point of view, and I'm going to have startups. So the avenue, how you're going to get there. To do all this, we need to develop our leadership skills. And sometimes there's this mindset that people say that leaders are born, but I'm against that. I mean, it's quite clear that leaders can be developed. So with the right training and persistence, you can be a better leader. And of course, it's challenging because as a leader, you need to work with people. And I think that's the most challenging part. And at the same time, that can be the most kind of rewarding aspect, getting a team to work with you for common vision. Entrepreneur point of view, since the main aspect is, one of the main aspects is to innovate. So you need to have that creativity aspect, or have access to the creativity. It's not always about you having all the attributes, but as an organization, as an entrepreneur, have access to creativity and execute that to develop your product or improve your product, grow your product. Resilience and self-discipline. I think over the last few years, I have experienced it quite well, as in the importance of the resilience and self-discipline. I've been telling some of my friends as well that if I was asked like one thing that you need to have as an entrepreneur at this moment, I would say it's a self-discipline, right? It's not necessarily the full skill set, in my view. There's this thing called science and art, right? Let's say if you're trying to be an engineer, right? Or if you're trying to, as an engineer, let's say we're trying to develop a product. So the science aspect is what we learn, what we have gained through our university education, and also the what we have learned through our experience. The art aspect is how you do it, as in how much like an energy you're bringing in, what is your passion to develop that. So it's a fine balance. I think the science aspect we can always develop, especially with the changing world. We can access resources online, free resources, and we can skill up ourselves, right? That the art is something we need to be more mindful of, especially as entrepreneurs as well, for you to, because you'll be working in a kind of diverse environment, not just by yourself or not just with your line management. So I think that's an important aspect. So coming back to the resilience and self-discipline, So having a good combination of those two at the same time, whether it's challenging times or good times, you need to maintain the resilience so that when you face those obstacles, you can actually succeed them with right plan in place. And the self-discipline is that execute your plan again and again, right? Be at it. So sometimes, especially during the challenging times, there's an opportunity that you might let things go, but having that mindset, self-discipline mindset, is going to make you a successful entrepreneur. And of course, with the changing technology, changing environment, changing whether it's economic or political, the adaptability is important. And changing employees, for example, or changing team members, you need to be adaptable to the team so that you maintaining your performance. I would say these are some of the key traits that we need to have as an entrepreneur. Yeah, so that kind of brings to the end of my presentation. Yeah, so hope that was useful. And yeah, please, if you could have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them.
Yeah, thanks for that wonderful presentation, Wenura. And I think it's wonderful that you spoke about your own experience to bring out lessons for future entrepreneurs. I think that was very valuable. And yeah, I think the points that you talked about in the resourceful entrepreneur slide, I think that's applicable to like everyone, regardless whether they're an entrepreneur or not. So I think it's a very wonderful presentation. Thank you very much. Yeah, so we are at a question and answer session. So if anyone has any questions, please either raise your hand or put a question in the chat, and I will discuss those points. Maybe to get things started off, I might ask you a question, Wenura, to
Sure.
encourage everyone to ask questions. So I think one of the other important qualities of an entrepreneur is the ability to innovate. You know, the times change, and you need to keep innovating to kind of keep the edge. Are there any pointers that you can give to any future and current entrepreneurs to how to keep your edge, how to keep innovating? Any pointers from your experience?
Definitely. Yeah, so I think stay current and is one of the key aspects, right? So, I mean, these days we can easily get distracted with social media by looking at the things that are not relevant, right? Whether it's the YouTube or the Facebook part. Again, coming back to the self-discipline aspect as well. With that self-discipline, maintain your focus and research about the new technology, changing technology, looking at your competitors. One thing I do is I do look at my competitors, but not to envy them, but to look at the good things they're doing. And if we have good examples, follow them in the sense copying versus following with an innovation, following with an addition is an part of innovation, right? So we can learn from bigger players. And I think the key aspect, especially when you're talking about the engineering entrepreneurship side, as we all know, the technology is changing at a very rapid speed, but can we keep up to speed, up to date? We can try our best, right? So look at what's happening in the environment, in the let's say other countries. For example, from my exposure point of view, I'm always pro on innovating by adding new technology. I mean, one example is that online tuition aspect. We have a new facility here that with all the conference cameras, live lessons, and so goal is to maintain the continuity of education. So we've done a good job in that. I'm happy to say that. So to do that, I've been looking at what's happening in the university level, what's happening in looking at the bigger place, like a country's point of view, what's happening in the US, what is happening in Singapore, what's happening in Japan, so that you might not be able to do at that level, but at least you can get an inspiration and you can get a innovative outcome relevant to your level, relevant to your current share. So I think that's the main thing I can mention.
Yeah, definitely. No, thank you very much for that answer, Wenura. I really appreciate it. Has anyone else got any questions that they want to put up in the chat? මොනවද ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා නම් chat එකේ හරි raise hand feature එක පාවිච්චි කරන්න. විනාඩියක් විතර දෙමු කට්ටියට.
අනිත් ප්‍රශ්න අහනකම් මට පොඩි කමෙන්ට් එකක් තියෙනවා. Thank you very much. Quite insightful. මම හිතන්නේ දැන් මෙතන අපේ ඉන්න audience එක අපේ ගොඩක් school children මේ කොලෙන් දරුවෝ හැමින්නේ සමහර කෙනෙකුට හිතන්න පුළුවන් මේ වගේ ඒ වගේම අපි දැම්ම හිතන්න ඕනේ නැහැ කියන එක. හැබැයි අතරම මම හිතන්නේ වයස කියන එක ලොකුවට අදාළ නැත්නම් මේ entrepreneurial mindset එක හැදෙන එක හරිම වැදගත්. පොඩි කාලේ ඉඳන්ම මම හිතන්නේ ඒක තමයි මේ මම හිතන්නේ අපේ ඉස්කෝලේ දරුවන්ට ගන්න තියෙන වැදගත්ම දේ. සමහරට අර මේකේ කියපු හැම word for word සමහරට මතක තියෙන්න ඒක නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි අර entrepreneurial mindset එකක් මුලින් ඉඳන් හැදෙන එක හරිම වැදගත්. මොකද වෙන්රෝ කිව්වා වගේ සෑහෙන දුරක් යන්න පුළුවන් ඒ mindset එක හදාගත්තාම.
අනිවාර්යයෙන් මම කියට පොඩ්ඩක් ඇඩ් කරනවා නම් ඒ කියන්නේ ඉතින් එතන පොඩි බැලන්ස් එකක් තියාගන්න ඕනේ විශේෂයෙන් දැන් අපි දැන් අපේ මේ දරුවෝ ගොඩක් ඒ කියන්නේ year 10 to year 13 right school ages එතකොට දැන් සමහරලාට ලංකාවේ යන mindset එකක් තියෙනවා education අවශ්‍ය නැහැ මම ගිහලා business එකක් කරනවා business එක successful වෙනවා කියන එක. ඒක නෙමෙයි අපි මෙතන කියන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ අධ්‍යාපනය අත්‍යවශ්‍යයි. මම යම් කිසි තැනක අද ඉන්නවා නම් ඒකට හේතුව අපේ අධ්‍යාපනය. එතකොට එහෙම කියලා මම කියන්නේ අපි අධ්‍යාපනය තුලින් අවුරුදු ඒ කියන්නේ අපේ ඒ කියන්නේ traditional ඒ කියන්නේ previous generation එක මේවා කරනවා නෙමෙයි. නමුත් අර කියන්නේ job එකක් කරලා ඒ කියන්නේ solid job එකක් කරලා retire වෙලා ඒ path එක යන්නත් ඕනේ කියන එක. විශේෂයෙන්ම මේ වෙනස් වෙන ලෝකයේ මම හිතන්නේ opportunities ගොඩක් වෙනස් වෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ current ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් future leaders ලා ගත්තොත් ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් ඉස්කෝලේ යන දරුවෝ ගත්තොත් ඒගොල්ලන්ට සමහරට ඒ කියන්නේ entrepreneurship පැත්තට තියෙන opportunities වැඩි. ඉතින් ඒකට mindset එක අනිවාර්යෙන් හදාගත යුතුයි. ඒ කියන්නේ තමන්ගේ background එක මොකක් වුණත් ඒ කියන්නේ සමහරට අපිට හිතන්න පුළුවන් right මගේ parents ලා educated නේ. නැත්තම් මට අපිට සල්ලි නෑ. ඒක නිසා මට මේ business එක මෙහෙම මේ field එකට යන්න අමාරුයි. ඒක ඒ ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියේදී ඒ ප්‍රශ්නේ ඉන්නේ නැතුව solution එක දිහා focus කරන්න. solution එක පැත්තට energy දාන්න කියන එක තුලින් සහ ඒ කියන්නේ හැම වෙලාවෙම අර හරි පැත්තෙන් information ගන්න බලන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ entrepreneurship එක ගැන හිතනවා නම් එහෙම නැත්නම් ව්‍යවසායකත්වය ගැන හිතනවා නම් ඒ කියන්නේ කොහොමද අපිට success වෙන්න පුළුවන් කියන එක. දැන් ගොඩක් online resources තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ informative resources තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒක ලබා ගත යුතුයි. එතකොට විපුල කිව්වා වගේ ඒ කියන්නේ ඒකට කාලයක් තියෙනවද? ඒක earlier the better. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි ගත්තොත් ගොඩක් ලෝක successful වෙච්ච entrepreneurs ලා ගත්තොත් ඒගොල්ලෝ කලින් පටන් ගත්ත අය. ඒ කියන්නේ සමහර අය ඉන්නවා school leavers ලා කියලා කියන අය right. ඒක ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ. නමුත් අධ්‍යාපනයත් එක්ක foundation එකක් එක්ක යන්න පුළුවන් නම් එතකොට එතන solidity එකක් වැඩි වෙන්න පුළුවන්.
Thank you very much for that, Dr. Wenura.
Wenura, can I raise another question?
Yeah, go for it, Khan.
Yeah, Wenura, with the progress of AI, artificial intelligence, and automation, what do you think? What would be the pathway for the entrepreneurship going forward for the people in the world?
Yeah, that's a very good question, right? It's the hot topic at the moment. So definitely, I mean, it's already doing it. It's going to impact immensely to any field, I would say, entrepreneurship point of view. But I think my mindset or my suggestion is as well, don't take it as a challenge, as in don't take it as a negative impact. Take the positive aspect and incorporate into your whether even as an employee or an entrepreneur. I mean, it's relevant for all of us. Incorporate it so that it's going to help you, assist you. I think, for example, in education field, there's this challenge, like from students' point of view. Okay, are they going to use AI to do their assignments or cheat, things like that? But opposed to that, I think even my mindset, we are working on incorporating certain AI aspects into our services. That how to make it an enabler so that we can do more customized education or more. For example, if we have 30 students in a class. Maybe some students doing really well and some other students need more support. So if you have AI supported platforms, then it's self-paced. Based on the student, you can generate questions. You can assist that student by providing a question bank to at their level so that they get the focused approach. So from school teachers, so there are a few principles here. So in education, there's an aspect called differentiated learning, differentiated teaching. So how to pitch at a different level depending on the cohort you have. So with AI, I think there will be a huge benefit in that aspect where we can get that technical support or technology support to provide a better service to our students. Now, other aspects like engineering entrepreneurship, I think it's more common, like easily available option or easily executable option is marketing side. So whether it's content creation, content and alignment aspect point of view, a lot of people use AI at the moment. But I think gaining some experience or know-how how to use AI, especially the back end, as in I know maybe I'm not sure if I'm going into bit details, but not just becoming a user, but also becoming a developer, right? Especially from the technology aspect point of view. So that's where you can make the impact to come up with new innovations, like world leading platforms like Khan Academy and other relevant related that's more like the social entrepreneurship aspect, right? So they are already doing this, and likewise, with these other technology products, I think definitely there's a big aspect that AI is going to play. Yeah.
Thank you, Wenura.
කලන මං දෙවරෙන් අහන්නම් ප්‍රශ්නයම තියෙනවද කියලා. உங்களுக்கு என்ன சார் கொஸ்டின்ஸ் இருக்குமெண்டா தமிழ்ல சொன்னா நான் அதை அவங்களுக்கு இருக்கிறத இங்கிலீஷ் இல்லாட்டி சிங்கிள் டிரான்ஸ்லேட் பண்ணி சொல்லலும், பயப்படாம கேட்கலும். தமிழ்ல கேளுங்க, நான் அதை டிரான்ஸ்லேட் பண்ணி உங்களுக்கு சொல்லலாம். என்ன சார் கொஸ்டின் இருக்குதா இல்ல? அப்ப
இப்போ தேங்க்யூ நாங்க ட்ரிங்கோ மெதடிஸ்ட் காலேஜ் கதைக்கிறோம். இன்றைக்கு நாங்க இந்த செஷன்ல முழுமையா இருந்தோம். எங்களுக்கு நீங்க சொன்னதுகள் ஓரளவு அவுட்லைன் எங்களுக்கு கிடைச்சிருக்கு. நான் நினைக்கிறேன் இன்னும் போக போக அடுத்தடுத்த செஷன்ஸ்ல நாங்க இன்வால்வ் ஆகும். அந்த நேரங்கள்ல எங்களுக்கு ஏதாவது டவுட்ஸ் இருந்தா நாங்க கேட்போம். இப்போதைக்கு எங்களுக்கு ஓரளவுக்கு கிளியரா இருக்கிறது. தேங்க்யூ.
No problem.
Ifam, can you please translate back to us?
Come on mute.
We just put it in there. Yeah. ඒගොල්ලන් කිව්වේ දැන් ඒගොල්ලන්ට කියපු දේවල් තේරුණා කියලා උගක් දුරට. ඉදිරියේදී මොකක් හරි ප්‍රශ්න තිබුණා නම් ඒකනම් ඒක ඩීටේල් අහන්න ඒගොල්ලන්ට මේ අවස්ථාවක් දෙන්න කියලා.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Wenura, I'm asking this question on behalf of the students, I think, because they are because this is first day, I think they don't they are shy, maybe they don't ask questions. So my question is, if they have a problem, if they already identified a problem, maybe depending on their area, or they have this problem for a long time, and they're thinking about finding a solution. Before they find a solution, what are the sources and what are the ways that you are suggesting for them to find out what are already identified solutions, what are the products, or what are the things available in the market and in the world? So what's the easiest way for them to find out these details? මම අහන්නම් ඒ ප්‍රශ්නේ සිංහලෙනුත්. මගේ ප්‍රශ්නේ දැන් ළමයි වෙනුවෙන් ඒගොල්ලන් දැනටම මොනවා හරි ප්‍රශ්නයක් අයිඩෙන්ටිෆයි කරගෙන තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ ජීවත් වෙන ප්‍රදේශය අනුව හරි මොනවා හරි දෙයක් ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ හිතේ ඇති. දැන් එකපාරට ඒගොල්ලෝ සොලියුෂන් එකක් හොයන්න කලින් ඒගොල්ලන්ට රිසර්ච් කරලා ඒගොල්ලන් හොයාගන්න ඕනේ නම් මොනවද මේ වගේ ප්‍රශ්නයකට වෙන රටවල් වල හරි වෙන පළාත් වල හරි ඒ වගේ සොලියුෂන්ස් මොනවා හරි ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එකක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්, software එකක් හරි මොනවා හරි ක්‍රමයක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙම හොයාගත්තු දේවල් මොනවද තියෙන්නේ කියලා ඒගොල්ලන් හොයන්න හොඳම මේ platform එක. එහෙම නැත්නම් හොඳම ක්‍රමය මොකද්ද? ඉස්කෝලේ ළමයි හැටියට දැන් අපි හිතන්න ඕනේ ඒගොල්ලන්ට තියෙන අවකාශය පොඩි වෙන්න පුළුවන් ඉස්කෝලේ ළමයි. ඉතින් ඒ අයගේ මට්ටමින් ඒගොල්ලන් කොහොමද ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ ප්‍රශ්නෙට මොනවා හරි වෙන විසඳුම් available ද කියලා හොයාගන්න ඒගොල්ලන් solution එකකට යන්න කලින්.
Yeah.
මම මේක ඉස්සෙල්ලා සිංහලෙන් ආන්සර් කරනවා. දැන් එතනදී දැන් මගේ ආන්සර් එක දෙන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා සමහරට මම දෙක කියන opportunity එක සමහර දරුවන්ට නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ කියන්නේ මොකද දැන් සමහර අපි ඔස්ට්‍රේලියාවත් එක්ක කම්පෙයාර් කරොත් okay අපිට තැනකට ගිහිල්ලා ඉන්ෆර්මේෂන් ගන්න තියෙන opportunity එක අඩුයි ලංකාවේ. ඒ කියන්නේ එහෙම database එකක් වගේ තැනක් නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන්. නමුත් අපිට කරන්න පුළුවන් මට්ටමේ අපිට ඉන්ටර්නෙට් කනෙක්ෂන් එකක් තියෙනවා නම් කම්පියුටර් ඇක්සස් තියෙනවා නම් ඉතින් මම හිතන්නේ හොඳම අවස්ථාව තමයි මම දකින තුනක් කියන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ කියන්නේ YouTube and Google basically online search කරන එක. හැබැයි ඒකේ ඒක සහ දැන් තුන්වෙනි එක මේක සමහර අපිට හැමෝටම බැරි වෙයි. නමුත් අපිට ස්මාර්ට්ෆෝන් එකක් තියෙනවා නම් ඒක ටෙක්නොලොජි ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එකක් නම් අපිගේ app development පැත්තේ නම් සමහරට අපිට existing apps මොනවද කියන එක බලන එක වුණත් අපිට දෙයක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. මම මේ දකින problem එක already address කරලාද කියන එක. එතනදී ඒ කියන්නේ ඒකට YouTube සහ Google search කියන එක තමයි මම main recommend කරන්න පුළුවන්. මොකද මම හිතන්නේ ඔතනදී අපි ඒ කියන්නේ අර initial research එක ගොඩක් important. මොකද සමහරට මට හිතන්න පුළුවන් right මම මෙන්න මේ ප්‍රශ්නේ තියෙනවා මම මේකට product එක develop කරනවා කියලා. නමුත් ඒ stage එකට යන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා අර research එක ඉතාල වැදගත් දැනගන්න ඕනේ දැන් බලන්න ඕනේ මේ product එකට මේ solution එක already තියෙනවද කියන එක. එහෙම solution එකක් තියෙනවා නම් ඒක එම solution එකම නැවත ඒ කියන්නේ reinvent කරා කියලා මම හිතන්නේ නැහැ අපිට ඒ කියන්නේ success වෙන්න පුළුවන් කියලා. ඒ කියන්නේ හැබැයි ඒකෙත් versions තියෙන උදාහරණයකට Uber ආවා ඊට පස්සේ ඒකේ equivalent version එක ලංකාවේ develop වුණා. එහෙම success තියෙනවා right. ඒ කියන්නේ segmentation එක වෙනස්. නමුත් ඒක මම හිතන්නේ ඒක බැලිය යුතු ප්‍රධාන දෙයක්. Yes, what I was saying is that the main sources to research upfront would be YouTube and Google using the Google search engine. And also if you have access to a smartphone, from app development point of view, you can get an idea about existing technology, existing apps just by searching for the type of an app you're looking for. So you can get an idea by looking at a range of apps that's available already.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, can I add something to that? And in doing that, I think probably you might need to do some brainstorming yourself and identify some keywords so that you can make your search more efficient and effective. Probably it could be a team activity. To the team activity, you could probably come up with, okay, say it's app for transport. What would be the key keywords for this app if you're looking for? ඒ වගේ keywords කියන්නේ මේ ප්‍රධාන keywords වචන මොනවද කියලා හොයාගන්න පුළුවන් නම් ඒකෙන් අපි ඒ කරන search එක ගොඩක් කාර්යක්ෂමව කරන්න පුළුවන්. සමහරවිට අපි වැරදි keywords use කරොත් එහෙම අපි يعني already එහෙම එකක් තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. නමුත් අපිට ඒක පේන්නේ නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන්. අනිත් එක තමයි ඒ keywords හොයාගෙන යනකොට සමහරවිට අපි මුලදී ඔක්කොම එකට අදාළ keywords නොදන්නවා වෙන්න පුළුවන්. නමුත් එකක් බලනකොට ඒකෙන් තව ඒ සෙක්ටර් එකේ තියෙන තව අදහස් ටිකක් එන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට අර මුල් අදහසින් තව එකකට ගිහිල්ලා ඒක ඊට පස්සේ තව ඊට වඩා ලොකුවට grow වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒකේ
මට ඒක තව දෙයක් ඇඩ් කරන්න තියෙනවා නම් ඒ කියන්නේ අපි රිසර්ච් එක කරනකොට ඉන්ෆර්මේෂන් වල ක්‍රෙඩිබිලිටි එක ගැනත් අපි ගොඩක් හිතන්න ඕනේ. විශේෂයෙන් අපි කියමු ලංකාවේ අපි ලංකාවේ වීඩියෝස් බලනවා නම් එතකොට සමහරලාට ඒ කියන්නේ මම කියන්නේ අර ෆැක්ට්ස් මොනවද assumptions මොනවද නැත්නම් opinions මොනවද එහෙම හිතලා ඒ කියන්නේ තවත් කෙනෙක්ගේ opinion එකක් ඔයාට fact එකක් කරගෙන මේ decision ගන්න එක නවත්තිය යුතුයි. දෙක දැන් අපි OpenAI ගැන කොට කතා කරනවා ChatGPT ඒ වගේ platform එකක් පාවිච්චි කරනවා. එතනත් අපි careful වෙන්න ඕනේ. මොකද සමහරලාට දෙන result එක solution එක ඒක accurate නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට ඒක නිසා අර කියන්නේ එක source එකකින් එන research outcome එකකින් තමයි පතන්න එපා කියන එක මම හිතන එක වැදගත්.
අනිත් එක directlyම customer ට කතා කරන්න පුළුවන් නම් එතන එයාගෙන් කෙලින්ම මේ ප්‍රශ්නය ගැන හොඳ දැනුමක් ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක මම හිතන්නේ අපි ඉස්සරහා සෙමිනාර් එකේදී වෙනමම කතා කරනවා. නමුත් මේ අහපු නිසා කිව්වේ ඒක මේ ඒ කියන්නේ කස්ටමර් හරහා අපිට එයාට අවශ්‍ය වෙන ප්‍රශ්නේ මොකක්ද කියලා ඉස්සෙල්ලා ගොඩක් අඳුර ගන්න අවස්ථාවක් හම්බ වෙනවා.
All right. Thank you for all the questions, everyone, and also thank you for the wonderful presentation, Dr. Wenura. So, moving on to our next segment, I think I'll hand over the pack to Mrs. Subhashini to give an overview of what's coming up next.
Thank you, Tidasa.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tidasa. All right, I've got few reminders here today. First one is the seminar, next seminar. The next seminar is on product market fit, which will be held on this time, the Saturday, the 16th March from 9 to 11 Sri Lankan time. So this session is extremely important. As Kalana mentioned in his talk, he was talking about not just entrepreneurship, he was talking about successful entrepreneurship. So he was talking about market capture. He was talking about, so market capture and successful entrepreneurship. So the next topic is about market fit. So we hope to see you all in that session. I believe that most of the teams might have come up with different ideas by now already for their product, for their service. So how do you filter which one is going to implement or which one you are going to develop? To get a better idea on this, join the next session. මම කැමති මතක් කරන්න ඊළඟ session එක තියෙන්නේ product market fit සම්බන්ධයෙන් කලනගේ කතාවේදී කියපු විදියට එයා කතා කරේ නිකම්ම ඉනෝවේටිව් වෙන එක සහ විවසායකත්වය පමණක් නෙමෙයි සාර්ථක විවසායකත්වයක් ගැන ඒ සඳහා වෙළඳපොළ අල්ලා ගැනීම වෙළඳපොළට කොහොමද current or future වෙළඳපොළට ගැලපෙන product එකක් අපි නිෂ්පාදනය කරන්න කියන එක ගැන. එතකොට ඒකෙදි සැලකිය යුතු කාරණාවක් තමයි කොහොමද මේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ product එක ඔයගොල්ලෝ develop කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන එක කොහොමද මේ market එකට fit වෙන්නේ කියන එක. ඒ ගැන දැනුමක් ලබා ගන්න ඔයගොල්ලන්ට පුළුවන් ඊළඟ session එකට සම්බන්ධ වෙන්න. ඒක තියෙන්නේ ලබන Saturday දවසක හරි ඊළඟ reminder එක තමයි team meetings ගැන. ඔයගොල්ලෝ next reminder is about the team meetings. Your team coordinators will be in touch with you for organizing your first team meetings at a date and time convenient for you, both parties, for you students and the team coordinators. They will be in contact with you soon. Please remember that they are the first, these team coordinators are the first point of contact for you from SLESA. So mama කැමති මතක් කරන්න next team meetings ගැන team meetings වලට ඔයගොල්ලන්ට team coordinator ආරාධනයක් එවාවි. ඔයගොල්ලෝ කාටත් පහසු වෙලාවක් ඒ ගැන ඔයගොල්ලන්ට පුළුවන් සාකච්ඡා කරලා තෝරගන්න. මතක තියාගන්න ඔයාලට හොඳ සම්බන්ධයක් තියාගන්න මේ team coordinatorsලත් එක්ක. මම මේ ස්ටුඩන්ට්ස්ලට මතක් කරන්නේ එයාලා තමයි ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ ප්‍රධාන සම්බන්ධීකාරකයෝ. ඒ වගේම ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ mentors ලා ඔයගොල්ලන්ට උපදේශනය දෙන්න ඉන්න පුද්ගලයෝ ඒගොල්ලෝ ඔයගොල්ලෝව දිගටම motivate කරලා මේ program එක throughout this program they will take you till the end. මම විශ්වාස කරනවා එච්චරයි මට තියෙන reminders කියලා. Thank you everyone and over to you Tida sir.
Thank you very much for that, Ms. Mukashini. And with that, we are at the end of the inaugural meeting of the SLESA Future Founder Bootcamp. I hope everyone got a good understanding of the importance of entrepreneurship from the wonderful presentation given by Dr. Wenura. Additionally, we hope that all the school teams have a general understanding of what we are after from this bootcamp, from you guys. So the word of thanks. On behalf of SLESA, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you who have contributed to making today's event a resounding success. Firstly, I would like to express our sincere appreciation to Dr. Wenura Dissanayake for his enlightening presentation on why entrepreneurship. His insights have not only broadened our understanding, but hopefully have inspired all participants to realize the importance of entrepreneurship and how it can be a potential career path. Thank you, Dr. Dissanayake, for sharing your knowledge and experience with us. I also wish to extend our thanks to all the participating schools, including teachers and students who have contributed their time and enthusiasm to make this inaugural presentation a success. We hope for your continued enthusiastic participation throughout this bootcamp. Next, I would like to extend my gratitude to everyone in the organizing committee and team coordinators from SLESA who have taken time out of their busy schedule to bring this bootcamp to life. Your dedication and hard work have truly made this event a success, and we hope for your continued commitment throughout the program. I would also like to thank the resource persons who have generously volunteered to give presentations throughout the duration of the program. Your willingness to share your knowledge and expertise will most definitely enrich the learning experience for all involved. Last but not least, a big thank you to Mr. Ifam for helping us today by assisting as a translator today. Thank you all once again. We hope to see you again in the upcoming presentation on the 16th of March, and we'll follow up with the meeting invite in the near future. මෙම ප්‍රසන්ටේෂන් සහභාගී වෙච්ච ඔබ සමට බොහොම ස්තුතියි. අපි මාර්තු 16 වෙනිදා පැවැත්වීමට නියමිත ප්‍රසන්ටේෂන් එකේදී ආපහු අපි ඔබ හැමව නැවත සමුගමු. Mr. Ifam, if you can translate the last part.
Yeah, thank you. நன்றிகள் நீங்கள் எல்லோரும் இதற்கு இணைந்து கொண்டதுக்காக. அதோடு எங்களுடைய நெக்ஸ்ட் presentation இருக்கிறது 16th of March. அதற்கு நீங்கள் இணைந்து உங்களுக்கு வேண்டிய உதவிகளை தேவைப்பட்டால் கேட்டுக்கொள்ளுங்கள். நன்றி.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks,
see you next time.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks. Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.